The reluctance to go beyond classical statistics, the deep roots of resistance. Today, AI seems to be everywhere. It is not a fad, rather, it is here to stay. AI is revolutionizing industries from education to finance to healthcare. Ironically, however, when researchers set out to study AI's impact, many still lean on classical statistical methods, running OLS regression analysis and reporting p-values, rather than embracing modern data science and machine learning techniques. Frankly, it feels like using a VHS camcorder to make content for Netflix. Even though AI and machine learning are reshaping the very fabric of modern life, academic research methodologies often remain stuck in the past. This strange gap isn't unique to our time. Throughout history, every major paradigm shift has faced fierce resistance. New tools, methods, or models often take decades, even centuries, to become mainstream. Looking back, we can clearly see the same patterns playing out over and over. Consider the Ottoman Empire, which partially banned the printing press. Despite the availability of printing technology in Europe since the mid-15th century, Ottoman authorities prohibited printing in Arabic script for Muslims until 1727. Why? Fear of religious errors, protection of the scribes' guilds, and deep cultural attachment to calligraphy slowed adoption. Hand copying, although slower and more error-prone, was perceived as safer and more sacred. Printing wasn't just a technical innovation, it was a threat to an entire way of life. Similarly, in the 19th century, the germ theory of disease faced intense resistance. Scientists like Louis Pasteur and Joseph Lister proposed that invisible microorganisms, not bad air, miasma, caused illness. Yet many doctors clung to the old model, refusing even to wash their hands. Semmelweis, an early advocate for antiseptic practices, was ridiculed and institutionalized. Again, it wasn't merely a debate about data. It was a collision of deeply held beliefs about health, morality, and human nature. And in physics, Max Planck, a founding figure of quantum theory, observed exactly this resistance among his contemporaries. As he famously said, a new scientific truth does not triumph by convincing its opponents and making them see the light, but rather because its opponents eventually die and a new generation grows up that is familiar with it. Planck understood that scientific revolutions are often generational, not because new evidence is lacking, but because the human mind clings desperately to old paradigms. Social psychologist O.J. Harvey put it succinctly: change is a challenge to one's belief system. In other words, adopting new ideas is not a technical problem. Rather, it is a sociological and psychological one. Harvey's conceptual systems theory proposes that individuals vary in the complexity and flexibility of their belief structures, influencing how they perceive information, make decisions, and react to change. Why does this happen? Several forces are at play. First, change is a threat to identity. Researchers who built their careers mastering classical statistics may feel personally threatened by machine learning. Adopting a new methodology feels like admitting that their hard-won expertise is outdated. Institutional lag is another factor. Academic journals, peer reviewers, and funding agencies were built around traditional statistical models. Papers using p-values and standard regression models are seen as safe and rigorous, while data science and machine learning approaches, despite their power, often face skepticism about interpretability. Fear of losing control also plays an important role in psychological resistance. Corporate re-engineering consultant Michael Hammer and James Champy pointed out that change usually provokes fear because people may no longer do what they feel comfortable. Classical statistics offer a comforting structure: clear hypotheses, defined tests, and binary conclusions that are easy to interpret. Machine learning, with its complex models, feels messier, harder to control, harder to explain to non-specialists. In short, the slow adoption of AI methodologies isn't about whether machine learning works better. It's about whether people feel psychologically and institutionally safe enough to change. Encouraging people to embrace new methodologies isn't just about showing them that machine learning works better. It's about helping them feel safe enough to go beyond the old ways. Harvey's conceptual systems theory suggests that understanding a person's conceptual system is crucial for effectively fostering development. More rigid thinkers need support in tolerating uncertainty, while more flexible individuals can be challenged to deepen their critical engagement. Simply acknowledging that switching methodologies is emotionally hard, not just technically hard, can build a lot of goodwill. Further, as James Champy wisely pointed out, leaders must help people abandon the fantasy of a perfect solution and instead embrace the experimental, evolving nature of innovation. If a new method must be flawless from day one, it will never get off the ground. Mistakes should be treated as part of the exploration, not as signs of failure. In my practice, I've found it crucial not to abandon classical methods altogether. In my book, Data Mining and Exploration: From Traditional Statistics to Modern Data Science, I recognize that classical statistics still has a place in many types of research. Thus, embracing data science and machine learning isn't a betrayal of good science. It's simply expanding the existing toolbox. To make change feel even safer, I often run classical and machine learning models side by side, such as bootstrap forest, boosted tree, neural networks, least squares regression, generalized regression, and stepwise regression. By using a model comparison approach, I don't demand an all-or-nothing leap into the unknown. Instead, I create opportunities for triangulation, where both classical and modern methods contribute to a richer, more nuanced understanding of the data. Following the logic of the inference to the best explanation, we can also pick the best model while classical methods are taken into consideration. It's a way to let researchers dip a toe into machine learning without feeling like they're abandoning everything they know. Ultimately, transitions succeed when they feel like growth, not loss. By combining respect for the old with excitement for the new, we can create a culture where innovation feels safe, natural, and even joyful. What's your take on this? Have you ever encountered resistance while promoting data science and machine learning methods within your organization? I'd love to hear about your experience, whether it was a success, a challenge, or somewhere in between. Feel free to share your story in the comments. And if you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Mahalo.